Did you know that complaining can quietly make you block your blessings without you even noticing it? Do you know that God does not like it when you complain? Biblical example, the Israelites in the desert or in the wilderness, when they complained and groaned at every slight discomfort or challenge, was God pleased with that? When you complain, you miss the subtle signs of God's love for you. You start leaning towards grumpiness and away from gratitude. You see an unfamiliar door, which could be an opportunity God is presenting to you, and you see it as a wall and miss the handle God wants you to use to open it. And also, you start to look at your problems with a microscope, so every problem, no matter how little, seems magnified. When you complain, you don't see the blessings in front of you. You miss the lessons a situation is trying to teach you. And when God aligns things for you, you call them mere coincidences because you end up taking God's blessing for granted, even without you noticing it. And when I mean alignment, I mean things just falling into place without you planning or preparing for it. You settle for sheer coincidence, sheer luck, instead of calling it blessings and being grateful to God. Sometimes you may end up spreading discouragement and gloom without you knowing it, just by complaining, and the devil will start using you as an instrument to spread discouragement to others. And the worst, you end up dishonoring God. Now, let me share a real life story. This happened to me just recently, of how I complained and missed seeing God's blessing, and instead I grumbled about it. But I asked God for forgiveness later. So this is what happened. Just last month, my son had a very terrible sore throat. I went to the pharmacy. First of all, I have a friend who is a doctor. She checked him and said, oh, it's not that bad, that he might not be given antibiotics, but it might be very painful, that most pharmacies here or the medical system here don't just give antibiotics, but she would have loved to prescribe it because he might need it to battle the sore throat. So I went to the pharmacy, and the lady checked it and she said, oh, I think he should get an antibiotic so that he doesn't go through so much like worse pain than this, because it was really painful. It was giving me signs I'm not really talking. And she was like, go to the GP. I said, okay, I wanted to go. Then she changed her mind and said, oh, wait, let me help you call. It might be faster, which is true. And she called the GP and they responded to her. They spoke to me. They booked a date like that same day to see my son. And it was really good. We went there and we saw a very nice lady, a doctor, and she prescribed antibiotics. I even told her I didn't want the one where he will be taking like, I think 3 times in a day or 4 times, where I have to take the medicine to school because he was also going to school. I wanted something he would take morning and evening so I could keep it in the fridge in the house. It's better than carrying up and down. So the doctor said, okay, no problem. And she did it for me. She said, this one is going to take morning and night, and I should go to the pharmacy whenever I was ready. I sent my husband. So when my husband came back from the pharmacy, he told me that the pharmacist said that the medicine was not prescribed correctly and we should call the GP to confirm the right prescription. I got angry. I was mad. Who does he think he is? Why is he trying to do too much? I went to the doctor myself and she prescribed this or no, and I was angry. I complained that what is this, da 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 da, and immediately I called the GP and explained everything. And they said, okay, they're going to get back to the pharmacies and I should go there the following day, that it will be sorted out. So the next day, I went back to the pharmacist to say, oh, the GP said they will contact you and they've sorted it out. And they said, yes, they added a note to the prescription, which I've read, but it still does not explain to me how many days your son should take this medication for. And immediately in my heart, I was boiling. What is he trying to do? Why are you trying to delay this medication? My son needs to start it. And I said, please, my son needs to start. And I tried to express my grievances. And he said, okay, take it home. The prescription is correct, but it wasn't stated the length of days. That normally it is 5 days. Yeah, I think he said it was 5 days, but he just wanted to be sure, blah, 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 blah. And I went home, I was like, oh, I don't even care. I think I asked ChatGPT and I was just pissed. Why is he trying to do too much? I didn't think of the fact that what if he was trying to, like, what if this is wrong and maybe it's God's way of telling me there's a mistake somewhere. I didn't even think that way. I forgot the other blessings of me getting an antibiotics when my doctor friend said they're not going to give to me, of the pharmacist booking the appointment for me, calling the GP and they responded fast, getting quick appointment. I didn't think of all those blessings. I just got angry, and that was how my road of complaining began. So the pharmacist gave me the medication, the antibiotics, and told me he would contact me either that day or the following day just to confirm how long he should take it for. And if he needed a second bottle, he would give it to me. That I should just be close to my phone and he would call me. He would try reaching the GP to sort everything out. I went home still complaining, oh, why are they stressing me? I don't want to go back to the pharmacy. So the next day he called me while I was even close to the pharmacy. I went shopping to buy groceries for the house, and he called me. He said I should come over and take an additional bottle. That the medication I had was correct, it was for 5 days, but I should take an additional bottle just in case it was not enough. And based on my calculation, one bottle should be okay for 5 days. And I started complaining. Why doesn't he want me to come again? I was close to the place. Why doesn't he want me to come again? Why is he stressing me? This bottle is enough. Why is he giving me 2 bottles? I don't need 2 bottles. I want one. I wasn't thinking, what if something happened to one bottle? Maybe it fell down, it poured, and I needed backup. Why wasn't I thinking that way? Because that would be a blessing to have spare. Like, is spare ever a bad thing? Spare of a good thing? Like, why did I see it as a blessing, as a problem? Why was I complaining? Because I had started complaining. So when you complain, it magnifies your problem. Even things that are not problem looks like problems. That's why I said the door God is giving to you like an opportunity. You see it like a wall and you miss the handle. So I started complaining. No, why is he telling me to come? He's stressing me. I was close to this pharmacy, but I was complaining. I went. So it won't look like I was an obstacle to my son's well-being. So I went. When I got there, I saw my friend, a pharmacist. I was like, oh, hi, and everything. And I told her everything. I started talking. When she came to meet me, she came with the extra pack of medicine. I should have just collected it, said thank you, and leave. Shorter length of being there, right? Or shorter length of time. But I was complaining. So I spent longer complaining, feeling bad. And guess what? I didn't collect it. I was like, I don't need it. So why did I go? I don't need it. Oh, it's too much. And she calculated for me and said, yeah, one bottle should be enough. You actually don't need extra unless you want it. Oh, no, I don't want it. Maybe ego now setting like, oh, I don't really need it. I'm not collecting. You know, looking back, I was like, of what use? Looking back, there was nothing wrong. Complaining created problems out of nothing. There was nothing wrong. I went to the pharmacy to collect a medication, or my husband went. They said the dosage must have been wrong. Called the GP. And they say, go back. And he gave it to me, collect it. Oh, but I will call you back for an extra bottle. Okay, go back for the extra bottle. God, thank you. I have an extra medicine in case he falls. And do you know what happened? The medication almost poured when I was giving my son because the syringe is a bit tight. So while I was pulling, I nearly knocked it down, but I caught it. It spilled a little. I was scared. In my heart, I was like scared, like, oh my God, what if it had poured? What courage would I use to go back to the pharmacy to request for the extra bottle, which I'm sure they would have discarded because they had already mixed it for me. Like, they had even mixed it for me, for crying out loud. They had mixed it for me, made the solution out of the water. But I did not collect it. I was grumbling. And the worst part is when I went, I didn't see the pharmacist that went through all the stress calling and actually did the mixing. I didn't see him because I was angry. I didn't want to see him. I just spoke to my friend. But after I got home, it was the day the medication almost poured. I realized I was just complaining. And I told God, I'm sorry. Because if it had poured, I would have no choice but to go back. How stupid will I feel? Standing in front of him and saying, okay, I'm sorry, I actually need it now. I mistakenly looked like it to sound. So I felt really bad. I felt bad. I felt my attitude wasn't the right attitude. I felt I needed to apologize or say thank you to the pharmacist because he tried. I really felt bad. I felt bad that I wanted to write a thank you note. I was like, no, that's too much. Like, what would I do? I didn't even know what to do. So I said, God, I'm sorry. I hope he doesn't feel bad. Help him to feel better and not feel bad for what I did. And yeah, I just moved on. But what lesson did I learn? I learned that complaining distracts you from your blessings. It distracts you from the beautiful, big, fine picture of God's plan for you because you'll be focused on the little problems, side distractions, the things that don't even matter, and you miss the blessings. But God's so merciful. Another day, I went to the pharmacy to get some things with my son, and I saw the pharmacist. Normally, we don't just see the pharmacist, they have their offices. You have to go request to see them, and you go to their office. They don't just come out except when they are prescribing medication to someone, and it's not so often that you just see them. But I was just passing by the pharmacy area and I saw him. He had just given some medication and was about to turn to go back. Immediately I called him. I was like, excuse me. And he turned. I said, remember me? He had forgotten my face. And I said, remember me? The lady we were trying to help sort out the prescription for her son who had a painful sore throat. This is my son. And he was like, how is he now? I said, oh, he's good. And my son said, thank you. I didn't say thank you, say thank you. And I said, thank you. And he was smiling. He was happy. And I was like, I'm grateful. You really did your best. You tried. Thank you very, very much. And he was like, you're welcome. And he smiled. And I told God, thank you for the second chance to say I'm sorry to him, to not make somebody else feel bad for trying to do his job. Because if it were me, how would I feel? If it was me, how would I feel? So, and that I didn't take as just a coincidence. I took it as God's alignment. You see the difference? I can say, oh, it's just a coincidence I saw him. And if it's a coincidence, maybe I won't even say thank you. Oh, I just saw him. But because I'm trying to take away complaining from my life and view everything as things to be grateful for, blessings, opportunities, and stop looking at problems. Or even if I see problems, I try to think of solutions. And that is how stopping to complain, that is what it does for you. You stop seeing problems. You try to see opportunities. You try to see solutions. You try to be a problem solver. You see God's alignment. Then you start seeing it clearly. This did not just happen. God made it happen this way because he wants me to do this or that. And I made sure I grabbed the opportunity to tell him thank you and to be grateful. And for my son to also say thank you. And for him to see my son and to be all cheery and smiley compared to the boy who came that couldn't talk. And I'm sure that would have brightened this day, that he matters, that somebody appreciates what he's doing. And that is how God wants us to live. So please, if you're watching this, I hope this offers you clarity or encouragement. The next time you feel like complaining, pause, reflect on your situation, and look for things to be grateful for, and you will surely find them. Replace complaining with giving thanks and see how that turns out.